So this might be a very short video as there's only 6 monsters in the beta, and that I am well aware that this is the beta and that changes to these monsters after the beta in the base game could affect where they are placed on this list. I am well aware, but for now it'll just be the beta monsters as they are, how they fight, how they look, how I feel about them, and then I'll probably make a list after the base game is released and after I beat it and make a list of all the monsters in the game so far. And then probably do one at the very end of all like the DLCs and added stuff. That way I can have an even bigger list. But for now, we'll just start with these in the order of which I have fought them. So I'm going to start off with Chotacabra, and I think he goes in A. I think he fits really well in A. And let me tell you, the amount of people I have seen mentioning Chotacabra's butthole is not 0. It should be 0, but it's not 0. The amount of I've seen Reddit threads, Twitter posts, YouTube comments, just a lot of people talking about his butthole, and I don't get it. But I do really like the fight. I like his design. I like the way he moves, his sounds. He's sort of just a beanbag though that you beat up. Nothing difficult. He's not really difficult at all. My friend who only played for like 3 hours beat him first try without even dying once. So A.
There we go.
Balahara gets a B. I like the way he looks. I like the way he sounds. I like the way he moves. However, his fight honestly fucking sucks. He's not necessarily difficult to fight at all. It's just that he keeps running. I know they talked about changing or diminishing the amount of time a monster runs during a fight, but I don't think they did anything like that for the beta because I played this past beta and he still runs a lot. It's impossible to just want to fight him when he just keeps running away. It's just super annoying and I don't feel like dealing with it. I think I fought him the least amount because he keeps running away. Doshiguma, I'm gonna have to put in C. He's not like monster-esque. Like you look at all these creatures, they look like they couldn't be a real animal. Doshiguma, I mean, if you like told me he's some weird Malaysia bear dog that's like wrinkly Malaysia bear dog, I'd believe you. And I think that bear bosses are really cool. I like when games put like grizzly bears as like a monster-esque animal. I think they're very cool, but I just don't think it's working here. There are so many games that have done it right, but I just think that this type of like bear-like monster just isn't working. Like if it was like the Elden Ring rune bear, it'd be different, but this is just sort of like a regular bear, and he just sort of like lets you beat up on him. He's got some attacks that could almost kill you, but he's just not dangerous. I don't know. The design isn't working for me, and the fight is meh. I don't know. It's eh. It's eh. He's okay. It's okay. C is okay. D is not good, and I don't think anything's going in D, so he's okay, and at least he's an early game monster. So, but when it comes to like early game monsters, like you have Chotacabra, then you go to Doshiguma, which I just don't think are two of the same thing, and I'm not counting any of the like he's not going to get any bonus points for the pack thing just because even Balahara does that, and as a monster himself he's just not that good, so I'm not counting the pack bonus as like a feature as a part of him, so he gets a C. Raydao will be our first S. I like Raydao a lot. I like his color scheme, the yellow with the blue on the edge of his wings. He's like a cyberpunk sort of color. His sound is great. His attacks are cool. He's really cool to fight. His music is great. Sound design is great. Like I really like this wyvern, but the fight, the music, the attacks, he's just very cool. GYPCEROS, I don't know how people feel about GYPCEROS. I've never fought him before. World was my first, but I've never fought GYPCEROS before. But from the beta, I feel definitely like a C. I feel like it definitely depends on the weapon you're using when you fight GYPCEROS, because I use sword and shield, so I can block. So anytime he goes to flash, I just block, and it's not that big of a deal. And he just sort of moves around, and sometimes he just stands there. Like he just stops moving and stands there without moving an inch. And he's just sort of there. I think his tail is cool. I think it's a cool thing, but his design is also like, this isn't like a real negative, so I don't want to take points off for it being like this, but it almost like you could feel it being dated. I don't know how old GYPCEROS is. I don't remember which Monster Hunter he released in because I've never played the one he released in, but it feels dated. His like weird egg body shape with the head shape and the proportions of his body. It feels like something that you'd like make in that Spore game, that Nintendo DS Spore game. It feels old and dated. Like, again, I don't want to say that as a negative. You know, I mean, you look at a vintage car or vintage thing, like you could be like, oh, that's old. It's not necessarily a negative thing. It can sometimes be a positive thing. It's just that him not being really difficult to fight, at least for me, which my weapon is sword and shield. He doesn't really hit hard. And again, we're using base armor and weapons and stuff. I don't know what rank this beta is in, so I can't really tell for, you know, base game difficulty what he's going to be like. But as of the beta, he's just sort of a C. He's got that faking dead thing, which I would almost want to put him in B for. But the moment he does it once and you figure that out, and you notice what to look for, you never fall for it again. But I think it happened like every time I fought him. And every time I fought him, after the first time, it didn't trick me. Now the last guy I'm talking about is ARKVELD, the new flagship monster, and I like him a lot. He is a hard fight. I don't want to say he isn't, because there have definitely been times where I've been carded. Like I've been carded multiple times by him. But from the beta, I think the hardest part was the time limit. I think if I had 50 minutes, you know, an hour or so to kill him like you do with normal monsters, I don't think he would have been nearly as hard. Like in the stream I did when I was trying to fight him, I don't think I beat him once. And it was like 95% of the time it was because of the time limit. I did end up beating him before the beta ended though. I ended up just going for the capture instead of going for the kill. I'm not sure if you can kill him by yourself. I'm not sure if you just don't have enough time. I did not. You probably do if you learn him well enough, but I didn't want to spend hours and hours and hours trying to learn every single one of his movesets. But he's got very cool attacks. His music's very cool. He sounds cool. His fight is cool. I will say the few things that have been annoying is his grab. His grab just kind of comes out of nowhere. Now luckily when he does do the grab, he doesn't like pounce on you. He just kind of spins in place to grab you, but it happens so fast that if you're up beating on him, you don't have time to really get out of the way and dodge. Luckily you can stab out of it. There's a new mechanic you can stab out of grabs, but it's still just something that I wanted to note because it almost feels like it comes out of nowhere. So yeah, this for the 6 beta monsters. This is the tier list. I like the beta a lot. I still like all these monsters. Just, you know, you can't put Doshiguma on the same level as Raidao and ARKVELD. It's just you need to have a list. And if you're going to be fair about it, I think this is the right thing. If they fix Balahara, if they fix GYPCEROS, I think, like, to make him a little bit more sporadic. You know, again, he's a little too much of a beat up. You put him in B, and I don't think you can change Doshiguma. The design of the monster kind of dictates what the monster can do, and Doshiguma's already been everywhere on trailers, cover art. It's just too much. He's been everywhere. So let me know what you guys would do with your tier list down below. Thank you for watching.